Once again, hello and welcome back to Story Stash. I'm your host Duncan, and these are some of my stories I've written. Today I'm reading from my book Ghost Whisperer, and this is chapter 31. So let's get started. Chapter 31. The next morning, Ed awoke in his plush bedroom. He rose, showered, and dressed. Then he left for the family room. Ellen sat looking at her laptop. She put it aside as Ed approached her. She stood and they hugged. You learn fast. I try. After they released, Ed fetched himself a coffee. They sat beside each other on the sofa. What's your schedule for today, Ed? Asked Ellen. I must get my last paycheck from the liquidators. I can arrange for the SUV with a detail. No, I'm fine to drive my car. I don't think there's anyone after me right now. Okay, but be careful. Keep aware of your surroundings. I will. So what's on your schedule, dear? I'm preparing for your sister's visit tomorrow. I must check on our attorneys too. Cool. After a few minutes, Ed stood and walked outside. His car was waiting for him. The henchman checked with his various contacts to track down this medicine man. He learned the Duwamish nation had a medicine man. There were accounts of him talking with spirits, rescuing people, and finding the remains of a deceased person. Aha! So he was the one who discovered the body in the lake. It made sense, thought the henchman. Further inquiries yielded the name Ed Tanner. That was where the trail went cold. The name wasn't a Duwamish name. It made no sense to him. The henchman kept digging for information. He knew failure wasn't an option. Failure got you killed. Ed drove to his old workplace, unaware of all the green lights on his journey. He found an ideal parking spot, although he wouldn't need it for long. He exited his car and walked up the steps to his workplace. The liquidators had prepared tables just inside the front door. Ed joined a line and didn't wait too long. He gave his name to a typical lawyer/HR person. They looked him up and pulled out some paperwork. Ed signed to confirm he had no company property to return. Then they handed him his last paycheck. That was it. No letter of recommendation or good luck in his next job. Ed walked past several former co-workers. He wondered which of them he'd need to rehire. I'd best take this paycheck to the bank while it's still good, he thought. Ed left his former workplace for the last time and drove to the bank. The henchman researched Ed Tanner and got a home address and a work address. He was closing in on his prey. He drove by the apartment complex. It took 20 minutes to learn that Ed had already moved out. The unit was vacant. Strike one. Next, he drove to the work address. Again, he discovered the business had just closed. A few former employees were going inside to get their last paychecks. There was no sign of the elusive Ed Tanner. Strike two. This Ed Tanner was extraordinarily lucky. Rarely did it take such an effort to find someone. Finally, the henchman drove off. He'd have to try another approach. He couldn't tell his boss that he'd failed. Such actions would get him killed. Perhaps he'd pick up a lead at the Duwamish nation. Hopefully, someone would give or sell him the information he needed. Ed returned home. He passed the main gate, waving to the security guard. Soon, he pulled up in front of the main entrance and went inside. Ellen was in the family room, talking with her assistant. "Oh, hello, dear. Did everything go as expected?" she asked. "Yes. I took the last paycheck to my bank before it bounced. In some of these situations, it's a race against your former co-workers before the funds run out." "I hope not. This is my assistant Grace. We were planning the party for tomorrow. Excellent. Soon Grace left them alone. My attorney will be here on Monday. I'd like you to prepare a plan for restarting the business. I want it to go as smoothly as possible, said Ellen. Will do. That'll give me something to do this weekend. Good. Can I get the contact info for Washta? I want to talk with her. Ed took out his phone and shared Washta's number. Thanks. Did you prefer something specific for dinner? She asked. Is it possible to stay home but have sushi? Of course. Let me make a call. Ellen picked up the phone and placed an order. Done. We've a couple of hours before dinner. Ed smiled. He approached Ellen and they embraced. By the shore of Lake Sammamish, the ghost of a dead villain appeared. What am I doing here? He thought. Oh wait, I'm dead. The ghost floated close to the spot where Officer Ure and the divers found a body. He floated above the water, wondering how he got there. Soon he left the lake. He went to the Seattle area, floating above the buildings. Then a building caught his eye. It was a greenhouse where he'd previously hidden some diamonds. Later, when he'd returned, the diamonds were gone. This was why his boss had killed him. The ghost descended and floated in through the roof of the greenhouse. It was currently quiet, so he floated over to the very flower bed where he'd hidden the diamonds. At once, another ghost appeared. Hey, what are you doing here? This is my greenhouse. Who are you? Asked the villain. I was the gardener here. I once hid something in this flower bed. You wouldn't know anything about that. Yes, I had my friends remove it. It was hurting my flowers. Do you know where these friends are? I'd like to meet them. Not exactly. I met a ghost called Connor near the police headquarters. He introduced me to his friend Ed, but I don't know where to find Ed. Now the villain had two names, Connor and Ed. One was a ghost. Thank you for the information. With nothing more to see, he left. That evening at the mansion, Ed and Ellen had sushi for dinner. This is amazing. Do you have a sushi chef on staff? Asked Ed. I don't know. I retain a catering service and they handle the details. They either ordered in or brought in a chef for this evening. Wow, I really like this. I'll include this in our rotation of favorite cuisines, she said. Ed's phone rang, interrupting their meal. Ed looked at Ellen. Hello? Ed, this is Officer Ure. Is this a good time to talk? Sure, let me put this on speaker. Ellen's here with me. I called to update you both. The body in the lake belonged to a thief. He was affiliated with local organized crime. Okay. The spirit said they sensed much evil in the body, so that makes sense. As for the bar, we're still working to get a warrant. I'll let you know when we have news. The ghost of a former police detective confirmed the location of the body. I'm pretty confident you'll find it where she told me it was. If you say it's there, I trust you. All your leads are good. Anyway, that's all I have. Officer Ure, this is Ellen. Will you be at the gathering next week? Asked Ellen. Of course I will. A tribal police officer is like a community police officer, except my community is the tribe. A gathering is the best way for me to meet our community. Okay, see you there. The call ended. Ed put away his phone and they continued their meal. Next morning, Ed awoke in his plush bedroom. He got up and showered and dressed, then he left for the family room. Ellen met him there. They hugged. I get my two favorite things each morning, a hug and a coffee, said Ed. Hey, those are my favorites too. That's what makes us so compatible, dear. When is my sister arriving? Around noon. All will be ready. Awesome. We have time for more hugs. Unfortunately, Connor arrived. "Oops, sorry, I guess I interrupted you," he said. "Ellen, Connor has arrived," said Ed. What's up, Connor? It's Ellie. I got news from that ghost at the greenhouse. You remember the one where you found the diamonds?" "I remember him. Cranky sort. What news?" "He said another ghost visited his greenhouse. He was one of the 2 thieves who hid the diamonds there." "Are you saying one of those thieves is now dead?" "Yes, and he's looking for you, so you best lie low." "If I understand things, I'm hard to miss if you're a ghost. And besides, he can't harm me." "Right. Well, I'm passing on the news so you can be prepared." "I appreciate the warning, Connor. Anything I can do for you?" "No, I'm good right now." "Okay. If you see Sarah, please tell her my police contact is working on a warrant to search that bar." "Sure, I'll tell her. You have a fun weekend." Connor promptly vanished. "Ellen, he's gone," said Ed. "What did he want?" "You recall we discovered those diamonds at the greenhouse? A thief who was involved is dead, and his ghost is looking for me." "Oh dear. And you said he can't harm you?" "Yes, nothing to worry about, unlike those Russian agents." Ellen poured 2 coffees and handed one to Ed. "When Kate arrives, the guard will call me, so we'll know to meet them at the entrance." "Exactly. Now what was that about more hugs?" Just before noon, Ellen got a phone call. "Ed, let's go meet your sister," she said. They stood and walked out to the front entrance. Ed watched Kate driving her beat-up Honda and stopping in front of them. He saw her lips making a "wow" statement. Kate stepped out and reached into the back seat to release Ellie from her car seat. Then they approached Ed and Ellen. "Hello and welcome to our home. I'm Ellen," said Ellen. She was interrupted because Kate engulfed her in a bear hug. "Hello, Ellen. Welcome to our family." They embraced for a moment. Ed crouched down to greet Ellie, his 4-year-old niece. "Hello, Ellie." "Uncle Ed, so do you live here now?" "Yes, I do." "Cool. Mummy said it has a pool." "It does. Shall we go see it?" asked Ed. "Okay." Ed reached for Ellie's hand and they walked inside the entrance, leaving Ellen and Kate behind. Ed walked with Ellie along various corridors. "This is such fun. We can play hide and seek," she said. "I'll have to check with Auntie Ellen and your mummy first." "Woohoo!" They arrived at the indoor pool. Someone decorated the room for the event. Several inflated toys were floating in the pool. Beside the pool was a red slide that was about shoulder height on Ed. It was perfect for Ellie. A female lifeguard dressed in a red one-piece bathing suit stood near 2 ladies dressed as servers. They stood in front of some tables of refreshments. As Ed and Ellie walked in, they stood at attention. "Hello, this is my niece Ellie," said Ed. They must have been prepared as they all smiled and greeted Ellie. "Ellie, have you learned to swim?" asked the lifeguard. "No, not yet. Mummy said I should get some lessons." The lifeguard picked up a life vest. "You can wear this for now, and you'll be okay." "Cool. Mummy has my bathing suit." "Wow," said Kate. They'd arrived behind Ed. "Mummy, can you help me change, please?" said Ellie. "You can use the changing room," said Ellen, pointing towards the changing rooms. Ellen walked to the tables of refreshments. A moment later there was music playing. Ellen returned to Ed and handed him his swimsuit. "You'll want to change too." Ed left for a changing room. Ed returned dressed in his swimsuit. He heard a splash as Ellie slid down the slide. Ellie wore a life vest and the lifeguard helped her enjoy the slide. Ed got into the pool and moved over near the slide. Ellie had climbed out and approached the slide. The lifeguard poured water on the slide first to wet the slide and make it more slippery. Ellie slid down and splashed into the water. Ed waited for her to surface, concerned it might be too much for her, but her loud giggle refuted his worries. He helped guide her to the nearby ladder at the poolside. "Mummy, this is fun," said Ellie. "Very good, dear. Follow the lifeguard's instructions," said Kate. Ellen and Kate sat on nearby pool lounges. Ed knew they needed to talk, so he focused on playing with Ellie. Later on, Ed and Ellie exited the pool to have a snack. They walked over to the tables. Ed picked up 2 plates, and the servers helped them select suitable snacks. Ed took Ellie to a table, and they sat down to eat. "This is a nice place, Uncle Ed." "Yes, it is. Ellen invited me to move in recently." "Are you getting married?" "Yes, then you can call her Auntie Ellen." "I'd like that." Ed and Ellie enjoyed their snacks. Soon, Ellen and Kate joined them around the table. Ellen gave Ed a kiss before sitting down with a plate of food. "How's it going, dear?" asked Ed. "It's going great. We were planning the wedding. We're getting married at the Duwamish Longhouse." "Awesome. Ellen said you've become an honorary member of their tribe," asked Kate. "Yes, I'm their medicine man." "Ellen told me some about it. You've rescued several people and you talk with spirits. Since when did that happen?" "Only after I was in the hospital. I told you about that before." "You said you got mugged. I didn't hear about talking with spirits." "It was a side effect. Did Ellen tell you how we met?" "Yes, she was in a coma and you rescued her." "Yeah, I drove the getaway car." "Cool," said Ellie. "I'll get more details from Ellen later," said Kate. Ed groaned. "I'll enjoy having a sister to talk with," said Ellen. "I'll need to get that tux soon. I'll have my assistant book you a time." Later, Ellie dragged Ed back to the pool, while Ellen and Kate sat and discussed wedding plans. Finally, Kate and Ellie had to leave. Ed and Ellen walked out with them to her car. "Thank you for your hospitality. This has been wonderful," said Kate. "You're very welcome. I look forward to meeting you again," said Ellen. Kate strapped Ellie into her car seat. Ellie had used up all her energy in the pool and was fading. 2 servers brought boxes and put them in the back of Kate's car. "What's that?" Kate asked Ellen. "Some leftovers. I thought you and Ellie would like them. No sense it going to waste." "Oh, okay." Kate turned and hugged Ed. "Ed, don't mess this up. She's a keeper." "I won't, sis. Ever since our parents passed, I worried about you." "I'm okay now. I can see that." Kate got into the driver's seat and drove away. "That went well," said Ellen. "She wants to help me plan our wedding." They held hands and walked back inside. "How was the Duwamish Longhouse selected as the venue?" asked Ed. "I talked with Washta. She said the tribe would be glad to host it there. They owe you so much." "Oh, and I figure several ghosts will want to attend." "I hadn't considered that. Did you have a date?" "We were going to discuss it further at this coming gathering." "Okay, once we know we can inform the ghosts." "Sure." Ellen walked with Ed down a corridor and opened a door he hadn't visited before. "What's this?" "I thought we could snuggle up and watch a movie together. It's a movie theater." "Wow." Inside were 2 rows of extended sofas. The screen reached the ceiling and at least double that in width. Ellen guided him to a sofa. "It has a catalogue of movies to choose from, so you'll find something we can enjoy together." "Does this count as a date?" asked Ed. "If you like. We won't be disturbed, if that helps." "We've not gone to a movie before. I don't know what you like." "That's the fun part, learning what we enjoy watching together." "Agreed." Ed picked up the remote. The henchman found the Duwamish Longhouse. It was empty, except for an elderly Duwamish person in the front office. He decided he might just ask. "Excuse me, I'm looking for Ed Tanner," he said. "I'm sorry, but he's not here right now. Can I help you with anything?" It's personal. Do you have an address for him? I'm sorry, I don't have that information, and if I did, I shouldn't give it to someone I just met. I hope you understand. The henchman barely suppressed his annoyance. He needed to find this medicine man soon. Okay. How could I meet him in person? Oh, that's easy. We have a gathering here this week. He'll be here then. The henchman took note of the gathering. He'd figure out how to abduct this medicine man later. The henchman left the elderly Dwarmish person wondering who he was. There was something off about him. Well, we've come to the end of chapter 31. And next episode we'll have chapter 32. And the police visit the bar. The bartender gets arrested. Ed gets a fitting for a tux. They attend a gathering and Ellie gets abducted. Stay tuned for the next episode. See you then.